Good morning everyone. This is Ronnie from YouTube, and this video is about what to do or what to say when your friend is no longer vegan, maybe no longer raw vegan as well. Thanks for joining the channel and watching the video. I mostly make videos about my raw vegan diet and journey. You can see I eat a lot of fruit. And I'm the founder of the UK Fruit Fest, an event that helps promote and celebrate the raw vegan diet, if you're interested in that. So in the last few months, I guess, a whole number of people that I've known personally to some degree or other have went from a vegan diet to a non-vegan diet, and some of them have even went to an extremely non-vegan diet where they're eating only meat or only animal products, experimenting with a carnivore diet, experimenting with a meat diet where they're just eating meat basically. So what should you do or say or what have you? So I've not really responded that much to these things all that much, I don't think. And I've certainly not messaged anyone personally and said, why are you doing this or what's happening? I've not really got involved with that all that much. And some of that's because I'm not really very close friends with a lot of the people. Like, I know them pretty well, and if I saw them I would sit down and chat with them and all that. But I don't know them all that well, and I don't think that they're really looking for advice from me or information, so I'm not trying to enforce my ideas on them or whatever. But others have been a bit kind of closer, people I know a bit better. And it's been surprising to see people going away from a vegan diet. And I really think a lot of these people were more vegan than me. They were more militantly vegan. They were more into the activism and stuff. So I've never got into all that part of it. So I guess it's a surprise. But I do know a lot of these people, or some of them, had their issues with the vegan diet. They weren't in perfect health. They weren't having a great experience, and some of them, when they tried raw, they didn't really figure out. I don't know if they fully figured out raw or not. Maybe they did. I do think that raw is a long journey. It takes time to get it right. But what should you do if you've got people in your life that are going away from a vegan diet? Well, I personally, once again, I haven't tried to convert them back. I haven't went to them and said, why are you doing this? Where's this information coming from? I haven't done that. But I have kind of recently been looking back into the information as to why I am vegan. And the thing that made me go vegan actually was the movie Earthlings. But I went vegan after years and years and years of changing diet, experimenting with diet, being a vegetarian for spiritual reasons, not really for animal reasons, kind of selfish spiritual reasons. And vegan was kind of along that path as well. It was kind of following body awareness, which I don't recommend you do. And I don't want to be selfish or egotistical about this. It's just, I don't think that your awareness of your body is as good as mine was. And I'm saying, I guess that it does sound silly, or egotistical, but I was already years of, not eating sugar, not consuming caffeine, cutting down on the processed foods, all that kind of stuff, and so when I was and meditating for years, and the meditation itself was what pushed me away from a lot of those foods, because I became more and more aware when I ate these foods of the reaction, and I think that was through meditation. I'm not sure why exactly that was. So when I was on a vegetarian diet, I was naturally cutting down on the animal products without thinking about it, just because of this awareness of the impact it was having when I ate them. And that took years for me to actually take notice of. And I don't think most people do take notice of it. So that's why I'm saying don't follow what you think is you know, your intuition or what your body's telling you, because that might not be right. So I was already going away from the animal products. Then when I saw Earthlings, it kind of gave me an extra push to give up the animal products completely. I was already giving them up without really thinking about it consciously. So I was on that journey. So I watched a bit of Earthlings last night again. I've not watched it in literally like 7 years. So I was watching that again, and I just remembered what actually happens, you know, in the industry of killing animals. That slitting throats is the cheapest way to kill animals. Although they might put the bolt gun in to render the animal unconscious, it might not really be unconscious, and then they slit the throat. They basically just go in there, slit it, sometimes cut out the stuff, and then they hang it up, and it basically drowns to death, or it's already, you know, the blood's coming out of it, and it's dying. And it's a horrendous thing. Like, I don't want to be part of that. Personally, I don't want to be part of that. And then when you go into the dairy and the egg industry, it's the same thing. Like horror shows, you know, total horror shows. And I kind of understand people that say I only eat eggs from my backyard. I get that a little bit, but you're still like imprisoning chickens. Like, you've still got 3 or 4 chickens that you're putting in a virtual prison for their whole life, keeping them away from other chickens. So maybe it's a more ethical way or whatever. But anyway, but then learning all the health information was the second stage of veganism for me very quickly, because I was totally in the camp of thinking there was something missing in the vegan diet, and probably there was some protein missing. So I looked into that and immediately started to find the opposite. And that took me on a journey now of 7 years, since 2011, 8 years nearly, of looking into the vegan diet and the health impact of it, But now what I've realised is that a lot of people are saying, well, what you've been looking at is vegan information, so it's propaganda. It's pure propaganda, and it's skewed to make the vegan diet look better than a meat diet. And you need to, you know, be more balanced and look at all the studies properly. So what I've actually been doing as well is looking at the mainstream sources of information, the complete mainstream sources of information, to try and see if there's anything to say that a vegan diet isn't healthy or that a meat diet is healthy. And I know what you're saying, you know, mainstream sources of information might not be the best, but these are probably the most trusted. So if I'm going to speak to someone who's not a vegan about it, they're not going to trust me or my vegan information. They're more likely to trust non-vegan information. So if I go to the NHS website, National Health Service in the UK, if I go to the NHS website, what I find is that a vegan diet is healthy for all stages of life, as long as it's properly planned or balanced. That's kind of what it says, and it sort of says that you could get low in certain nutrients in a vegan diet if you don't do it properly, you know. So, but it's correct for all stages of life apart from for babies, and I would agree with that. Well, I wouldn't really, because I think breastfeeding is vegan. So what babies should be doing the first 2 years of life is mostly breastfeeding, and that is vegan to me. So I don't see a vegan diet as being a problem any time in life, but I understand the distinction they're making. They don't want people to just put their babies on soya and tofu or whatever. So I'm not seeing this information saying a vegan diet is going to debilitate you, is gonna take away all your muscle, is gonna take away all your protein, is gonna kill your teeth or your hair or your gums or your whatever. I'm not seeing that on the most mainstream website or health information, and I think they're behind the times with a lot of their information. When it comes to meat, They do say on the NHS website, meat is a good source of protein and various nutrients. They do say that. In terms of the food plate, they show protein foods as a fairly small amount. So protein foods should be a fairly small amount. But that includes nuts, it includes beans, it includes, I think, other legumes and things like that. So they're not just saying meat in general. Now, a lot of my friends have started eating red meat, steaks and stuff like that. Carnivore diet people. Steaks, red meat. The most mainstream, the most trusted, the most non-vegan source of health information, the World Health Organization, has already put the nail in the coffin. Red meat probably causes cancer. Processed meat causes cancer. These are carcinogens. So on the NHS website, it's to some extent followed that. So it said meat is a good source of protein, blah 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 blah. Okay, I don't agree with that, but that's what it says. It then says we should cut down on red meat and we should cut down on processed meat. Red meat is lamb, pork, and beef. And then it goes into all the problems with eating meat. And this is what's fascinating to me, is it says meat is a good source of protein and blah blah blah. Then it says meat is high in saturated fat. Saturated fat leads to heart disease. We should cut down on saturated fat. It also talks about you need to cook meat properly or you get food poisoning. It also talks about if you're eating liver, and I know some of the carnivore advocates are eating liver, and they're talking about vitamin A. Well, more people have a problem with too much vitamin A causing a problem, and pregnant women are told to stay away from liver and products like that because of a high level of vitamin A. So it's ironic that people are talking about vitamin A deficiency, which doesn't happen in the developed world, when vitamin A excess is actually a much bigger problem because it continues to store in the body. So it goes through all these problems with meat and how you need to be safe with it, you need to store it properly, cook it properly. It's kind of ironic, and it basically says cut down on meat. It doesn't say that specifically, unfortunately, but it says cut down on saturated fat. Meat has saturated fat. You do your own math there, but it doesn't say it because that would be politically incorrect at this point in time or something. So then I looked at what it said about. So the healthy eating plate is like starches, fruits and vegetables, proteins, dairy, oils. I don't know why it has oils and refined fats, but it does. There's absolutely no need for it to be there, but it's there. Okay, fair enough. It was actually dairy or alternatives. It didn't say it had to have dairy. So then I looked at their 8-stage sort of healthy eating guide, and it said the diet should be based on starches. So obviously I'm not for that because I'm against cooked food, right? But I can understand that. Your diet should be based mostly on starches. That's basically what it's saying. Starch-based diet. You should eat at least 5 portions of fruits and vegetables a day. I would agree with that, but obviously I would say more. So that's the main 2 pillars of the diet. Then it says you should eat more fish. So that's the one thing it says about meat, is eat more fish. What does more fish mean? 2 portions a week. 2 portions of fish a week. Not make fish the centre of your diet. Try and eat 2 portions a week, is what they're saying. Cut down on saturated fat. Once again, it doesn't say cut down on meat, which is frustrating, but it says cut down on saturated fat. So that makes people think, okay, well what I'll do is I'll take the meat and I'll cut the fat off it and stuff like that. Yeah, that does cut down on it, but that's not what we're talking about. You need to cut down on the meat itself. It doesn't say to include dairy products. It says to cut down on salt, cut down on sugar, cut down on oils, cut down on saturated fat, get exercise, which isn't a part of a diet, but fair enough. it doesn't say anything about you need to eat meat to be healthy, to have protein, to blah blah blah. It doesn't say you need to have milk and eggs. It doesn't say anything about eggs. There was zero information saying that we can require eggs for any reason. So this is baffling me, because now I'm staying away from my own sources that I think are pretty good. Nutritionfacts.org with Michael Greger, the Forks Over Knives documentary, the China study. I'm staying away from that information, which some people might think is a bit, over the top or whatever. Dr. McDougall's information. Dr. Kim A. Williams, the head of the American Heart Association or something like that. A number of people like that. I'm staying away from that. And I'm looking to the mainstream, and I'm not seeing them saying that we need to eat more meat. I'm seeing them saying we need to eat less meat. I'm not see them saying we need to cut out carbohydrates. They're saying that carbohydrates need to be the absolute major part of the diet. So why is that? Why are they not promoting low carb, carnivore-ish diets? Because there is zero science to suggest that's healthy for human beings. Not just there's not enough, there's none. There is absolutely none. And when people support that diet and promote that diet, over the years, books that have come out about, it's the same thing, low carb diet, it's the same thing. They're so badly researched. The studies are so poor. The information is either biased or it's just not correct. And they make basic mistakes like referencing studies that don't even say the thing that they pretend that they say. Their information is so poor. So I know that completely. That's why I'm not going towards eating meat. That's why I think it's crazy that these people, these friends of mine, acquaintances, are eating meat again. Absolutely off the wall crazy. And you are crazy if you do that to your health. Because we only have one shot, we only have one body. We can make irreversible damage. And this is just such a damaging diet. And I understand that what people are saying is they feel better. Usually the digestion is the thing that they point out. The digestion's better. And I know that a lot of these people have had digestion problems that they've struggled to get to the bottom of. And I don't necessarily have the answer for that. I don't necessarily have the answer for that, to be honest, but because I've always had pretty good digestion, even since I was a child. When I was a child, I had constipation and I had some bad digestion. As an adult, I've always pretty much had decent digestion, but way better on a fruit diet. Way better. Ease, no sound, nothing. So I get that vegetable police and different people had really poor digestion. I don't know why that was. I don't know why they allowed their diet in the past to get so bad that they were so damaged. I don't know what alcohol they took, what drugs they abused. I just don't know. I don't know what happened to them in childhood. I don't know if they were on heavy medication or antibiotics. I don't know what led to their digestion having a problem, but I know that they seem to be saying that they eat meat and they get rid of all carbohydrates, get rid of all plants, and it does something for their digestion. And I don't know exactly why that is, but what I do know is that this isn't supported. As in terms of an overall healthy diet, this isn't supported for anyone. So it's a crazy thing. It is so damaging to people. So I'm not here to try and force all my friends to do something. I think that they're on their own experiment. I don't think it's very effective to try and bash people with information. I think what we want to do is reach out to the people who are interested in learning more and provide them with the information that they need. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not really trying to go to my friends or my family or anyone else and bash them over the head with this information. Because people in your family and your friends, they don't see you as an expert. They don't think that you're worth listening to sometimes. So they're going to go to their doctor. It doesn't matter how many times I speak to my grandfather. He's going to go to his doctor, and if his doctor says it's nothing to do with his diet, he's not going to make a change. So It doesn't matter that I'm right. It really doesn't matter. Human beings are not very smart, including my grandfather when it comes to food, including you, including your friends, including everyone when it comes to food. People aren't very smart, you know. So people need the advice of experts. So they look to gurus, and then people make these crazy decisions based on gurus that they see as experts. So anyway, that's this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching the channel. Share some comments below. What do you think? Have some of your friends not vegan anymore? What have you said or done? I've yet to really respond to any of them that much, I think. But anyway, thanks for watching.